So I want to show you one of the updates we did to one of the moves. It was a slight buff to one move and a nerf to another one. But I think this is a good time to explain some of the mechanics in terms of how knockback works in our game. Okay, so essentially there were two moves. There was the neutral air, which is the punch that you do from just pressing attack while in the air. And then we also had the back air attack. Um, Actually, it's probably beneficial if I actually hop into gameplay just to show you what I'm talking about. So I'll just hop into training over here. Just to show you guys what I'm referring to. So the neutral air is this attack, that punch while in the air. Right here. And this attack is great because you have a lot of mobility. Like you can see, sorry, not not that. You can see I can like punch and move back, punch and move forward, all while still doing the attack, right? But we have another attack, which is the back air, that one, which you don't have mobility. Once you start it, you can't move out of that animation, right? So you're locked in. And so previously what happened is we saw a lot of AIs like doing kill shots with this one, right? And it's really satisfying to watch, but it's actually one of the easier ones to land because you still have so much mobility, right? And the other one was a lot harder to land, and it also didn't provide you with as big of a kill shot. And so realistically, it's like, why would I ever use this one, right? You have a lot less mobility. It's not as powerful. And so people just opted for this one instead. And so we wanted to give a reason to do the back air instead of always having people just rely on this, because essentially we want all moves to be good in a specific situation. So what we did is we slightly nerfed the neutral air, right? So the one where we just punch in the air, and then we slightly buffed the back air. And I'll show you guys what we did. So before I get into exactly what we did, I want to explain a concept in terms of how our knockback system works. So let's say this, hold on, let me draw over here. Let's say this is our character over here, okay? And let's say I'll use the regular neutral air for the example. So the first thing to note is that we have this thing called knockback. And the knockback consists of two parts, the knockback base and the knockback growth. So the knockback base is the minimum amount of distance that the knockback is going to give regardless, okay? So this is when someone is at 0% damage. They're going to travel at least this far, okay? Now the knockback growth is basically how much additional knockback you get for more damage. So for example, maybe they'll travel this far for 50% damage, right? And maybe they travel this far for 100% damage, okay? So this part is the growth, and then this part is the base, okay? So there's two parts. There's a knockback base and the knockback growth. The first thing we did for the neutral air, right? So I'll put it in here, so neutral air, is we reduced knockback growth. Okay, we didn't reduce it by a lot, so it's still a viable kill shot, but now to kill, it's at a slightly higher percent. Okay, so for example, let's say your character is here and the kill zone is right here. Okay, before the knockback growth was a certain amount, maybe you can reach right here at maybe, like, let's say it was like 140% for your opponent. Now 140% lands you right here, okay? And now to reach here, maybe you need this went to like 165, okay? So that's the first thing we did for the neutral air. The second thing that we did for the neutral air is we increased, we increased the angle. So each attack also has an angle associated with it. So for example, the previous angle was 10 degrees. What we did is we increased it slightly to 20 degrees. And the reason for this is actually because if you think of like a circle, that's kind of how this thing works. So here you see, if I increase it to 20 degrees, it goes to here. Now, obviously, like the rightmost part of a circle is the furthest like horizontally, and anything like anything above it or below it will be closer horizontally. So what that means is that neutral air is less likely to kill horizontally. So for example, if we didn't even adjust the knockback growth and this was the kill zone, and let's say it just made it to the kill zone before, now it's gonna fall slightly shy of the kill zone. Okay, and so this means yeah, this is another lever to slightly reduce the kill shot from that and help opponents get back better. But what this also means, sorry, is that it's better for combos now, right? Because you can imagine that if, for example, this was slightly out of range for a combo for you and you can only make it to like here, now you can combo into another move more easily with neutral air. And that's really what it should kind of be used for, especially at low percentages. So that's basically the neutral air. The back air is literally the reverse, right? So the back air is one, we increased growth. Oops. Increased the knockback growth. And two, what we did is we reduced the angle. And it kind of makes sense too. Like if you look at this, it's a very straight attack. Like it's like almost like an arrow, right? Oops. It's almost just like an arrow. So that one we want to just go straight horizontally, and now it has higher kill power. I said a lot of stuff. Does this stuff make sense? In terms of the changes that we made?
Certainly makes sense to me. And the comment section, yep, makes perfect sense.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. In the background, we're also doing a few things to make off-platform play more viable. It's almost ready. We're currently testing it. I will probably talk about it in the next Get Good session. But it should make the off-platform stuff a lot more exciting and increase the reward for landing a hit off-platform. I won't spoil what it's going to be, but I will certainly talk about it next week. And the reason we're doing this is because we had sort of like an exclusive access competition, and a lot of people provided very great feedback in terms of their training methodologies, why they don't prefer to go off platform and all that stuff. And so we're taking all that into account and hopefully going to make it there's more of an incentive to want to go off platform now and secure that kill. Okay, so with that, I can get back into training. So I believe this is the heavy guy. So I'm gonna, oh, also this is our new paused menu in case anyone hasn't seen it.
Yo, it looks dope. Can we, just for a second,
Yeah.
allow me to interject, can we turn down the background music or master volume to like another 3-4 degree? Just like tiny bits, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That should be good.
Yep,
Is that better?
That's awesome. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I want to switch out of the heavy fighter. I want to do my light fighter because that's what we were using last week. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to try and train is, this is driving me crazy that my AI follows the opponent. And so I might do something really radical right now and kind of low-key mess up my model, but I think it's worth it. But I do want to show you guys something because I did notice something really weird when I was trying this morning. So as you see, as soon as, so it knows how to recover when the opponent is like well positioned on the platform, but when the opponent is over here, I mean here it's not bad, but as soon as you kind of get close to the opponent, and especially if you're facing the opponent, it just wants to keep chasing it, right? So for example, if you start hitting it from here and then you follow, there's a high probability of continuing to chase the opponent, right? And I think it's the same on the other side. If you start hitting your opponent, yeah, if you're facing it, then you keep chasing. And what I want is basically, I want it to chase, because I think chasing is exciting, up to like a certain point. And then I want it to start returning back to platform. So I'm going to do something a little crazy because it's really hard to keep getting into this position. You know what I mean? Where the opponent's all the way here and you're chasing the opponent. So I'm going to basically say forget about position relative to the opponent. And I'm just going to try and like override a lot of that stuff. So I'm going to try a few things over here. Let's see what works. I'm going to do data limit because I want to take my time in collecting the data. So I'll just put the opponent in the center. Okay. I always just like playing around a little bit, get comfortable with the controls before I record anything. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna start recording. Actually, I didn't really like that one. I did it a bit too late. I'll restart the session. Okay. That's good. That was bad. I'll restart it again. You guys are seeing the raw process. The sometimes frustrating process, but once it works, it's so gratifying. Okay. That was bad, but I'll let it go because it was moving in the right direction. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna hop into training config, and then I'll do what we normally do. I'll just do the raycast to platforms, and this is like the normal course of action, right? So let's train returning onto platform. I just did the raycasts for the platform. That looks alright, but what happens if I bring this bad boy over here? It looks like it still wants to chase the opponent, right? Which is annoying, because I don't want it to chase the opponent. Actually, here it's fine, but still, what I want to do is completely change it so that it just goes to the left on this side. Like, I didn't even show it to go to the right, but it's still going to the right. What happens if I turn lambdas all the way down? See that it's increasing the probability of going to the right, which is annoying. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was increasing the probability of going to the right, and then it started increasing the probability of going to the left again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn batch size down, turn epochs all the way up, and see what happens. Do you see this? What's happening? I talked about it in a previous Get Good session. So now it's learning the correct thing, even though the opponent's on the right side of me. So what's happening is, in the learning process, sometimes you have to travel through suboptimal policies to reach the optimal, right? Because I think I mentioned before that training neural networks is an iterative process, and you have to do one update at a time. And the neural network can't see where it's going. It just has some information about where to go next. So this is one of the kind of frustrating but also exciting parts of machine learning, is that there's all these nuances to kind of like try and understand. So for example, let's say this is like the parameter we're trying to learn, and this is the loss function. And remember, loss is how wrong you are, right? And the parameter is like the intelligence that you're trying to learn. So for example, if this is the curve, this is like the best parameter to know, right? Because this is the minimum loss, and you can think of the loss as basically the difference between what the AI is doing and what you showed it. So when the loss is the minimum, it means that the AI is doing as close as possible to what you showed it, right? And this is the value or the intelligence that's going to make it do that, okay? So what we want to do in training is we want to move where we currently are, let's say here, down to here. That's the goal of training, right? But at any point in time, all you just kind of know where you are, right? You just kind of know where you are at any point in time. You actually don't know what this curve looks like, right? And in reality, what this curve looks like is something like this, right? And so you can imagine it's like, okay, where the hell do I go from here, right? Where the optimal place is like down here. All I know is I'm here, and you just get information about which direction to go. You say, okay, I'm gonna go down now. And then once you reach here, it's like, okay, where do I go? Because both sides, it just increases the loss. And this is called a local optima. And so what you saw before is that it was getting trapped in these local optimas. And so I had to just basically ramp up training so that it's able to kind of escape these things. And also I reduced the batch size because each batch generates a new loss, a loss surface, right? So for example, loss surface number 1. So I'll just denote this as loss 1 for the first batch might look like this. Loss surface number 2 might look like this. I realized I should have put it under here. Just imagine this 1 is down here. Loss surface number 3 might look like this. Right? And so each one is giving you different directions for where to go. Right? So for example, in this position, excuse me, in this position over here, it's telling you to go down. But in the same position over here, it's telling you to go. Actually, that was that was a bad example. Hold on, let me choose another one where it's clearly different. Okay. In this position over here, it's telling you to go down. But in the exact same position on the red surface, it's telling you to go down in the opposite direction. Right? So this one is saying go to the right and down. This one is saying go to the left and down. And so basically your parameter over here first goes here and then it goes there, right? But this is actually good, even though it seems like it's counterintuitive. It's like, okay, it's going back and forth, but sometimes you need to kind of go back and forth to jump out of a local optima. And because the size of the updates are going to be different as well, depending on the slope. Anyway, I was getting into a lot of theory over here. Does anyone have any questions before I jump back into the actual applying it? No? Okay, cool.
Right now, don't think so.
Cool. If we hop back into here, that's why, for example, sometimes you need to really ramp up training, reduce batch size in order for it to escape that local optima. And now, regardless of where the opponent is, it's going to come back onto the platform. And if I go here, so this, did I only show it what to do on the other side? Oh, because no rays are intersecting. That's my silly mistake. We talked about this in the last session, actually. When no rays are intersecting, it kind of just chooses like one of the things to do because it doesn't know better. So what you also have to do is put your positioning so it knows where we are on the map. And now it should just, yeah, it should stay going to the right when no rays are intersecting here. We'll let training continue. Now, this might not be optimal because it's going to mess up the policy in a lot of other places by doing such extreme training, but I'm at the point where I want extreme stuff. Okay, cool. So now, regardless of where the opponent is, it's going to go to the right. Okay? And on the other side, regardless of where the opponent is, even if it's not intersecting, it's going to go to the left. Okay, cool. So, what happens on platform? I want to see if this is like palatable, like if I actually would want this changed. And so looks like it's still attacking the opponent. My shield got destroyed over here. Got absolutely destroyed. Here it's going the complete wrong direction. Okay, this is certainly not optimal, guys. But I just wanted to show you like one way to kind of like override stuff. I want to see if I bump up the lambdas a little bit so that it's not so extreme. I don't want 0 lambda. I still want to maintain my old policy. Let's see what happens. It looks like it's maintaining it relatively well now. Now I hope the off-platform recovery still works. It still looks good. The shield is not completely destroyed. Yeah, see, this is the problem now. Is that it was traveling along the path. Yeah, it was traveling along the path and it couldn't quite reach the optima. Let's see what happens if I ramp up learning rate. I'm gonna reduce the lambdas a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna reduce it a little bit. Actually, action lambda can stay relatively high. I'm gonna reduce direction lambda. Okay. Let's see. I'm watching this bad boy in the background. Just see if it's somewhat going in the right direction. No, it looks like it's struggling. It's bouncing back and forth around a local optima right now. I'll just end it, even though it's almost done. I'm gonna reduce learning rate to like 0.3, because the larger learning rates, like if you look over here, if you have really large learning rates, they kind of bounce back and forth, right? And so by having smaller learning rates, right, it's more fine-tuned, and then you just need to increase the number of epochs so that it eventually reaches the bottom. All right, so we're gonna give that a try over here. This is very experimental. Which is not optimal, guys. It's looking better on this side. It's looking much better on this side, actually. Should I take the L and save it and then try and work on the other side in the next session? Yeah, like this is not good. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna reduce direction lambda to 0. I'm gonna reduce this a little bit too. I'm gonna make it a little more fine-tuned. And I'm hoping the action lambda helps maintain the policy to a certain degree, but reducing direction enough so that the direction can change. Oh, did we get it? Okay, I think it might have worked. Okay. On platform, let's see. It's still... You know what? It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna train on platform stuff next time anyway. And over here, you know what? It's looking pretty good. I'm kind of liking this, guys. I'm kind of liking this. Knows how to recover. Great. And even it chases it to a point, and then when it gets too far, it stops. It really increases the probability of moving the other side. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking really good. Okay. This is good. I'm liking this so far. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save it. There's still a lot of stuff I need to fine tune out now that it's kind of learning how to recover onto platform when it's far away from the platform, regardless of opponent position. I need to next teach it to chase the opponent while on the platform, although it's not horrible, but it's not good. So here, for example, it shouldn't be moving to the right, but we're making progress. So I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to do some on-platform training. So just want to reiterate what you saw me do is I didn't get it right the first time. I rarely do. In fact, no machine learning researcher knows the optimal set of hyperparameters to fine-tune a model to their exact liking. And often what they have to do is something that's called hyperparameter tuning, right? Where they have a bunch of hyperparameters that they want to try out. Oh, by the way, hyperparameters are the things like learning rate, epochs, all that stuff. So they have a bunch of those that they want to try out, and they try out different combinations to see what gets the results that they want. Okay, so that's usually the process that is undertaken, and that's exactly what we were doing here, where I was trying out a bunch of different things. I hope I explained my rationale for why I was trying them out along the way. And eventually something kind of worked. Nothing's going to work perfectly, but something that gets you a bit closer to what you want. I think that's the goal. So now I'm going to fix basically what I ruined on the platform. And it's basically just showing my AI to chase down the opponent. Okay, so on both sides, I think I've shown this before. Okay, from above as well and below. I'm just gonna do it a few times. Oh, that was a bad throw. And so what I'm doing is starting from facing away from the opponent and facing the opponent, because I'm going to want to put direction as an input. Basically because I want my AI to know to actually face the opponent when it's hitting it. Okay, and then I'm just going to train a few more from above as well. And then a few more from below. Okay, and then I'm pretty happy with that. I'll go into config. This time I'm specifically going to do your action, direction, distance, and angle to opponent. I'm going to bump up the lambdas all the way. Okay. I'm going to do remove sparsity multi-stream as usual. And let's see what happens. Now the key thing I'm looking for here is that it maintains the policy I showed it off platform. Okay, here it's learning to attack. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now when the opponent's on the other side, it's going to chase the opponent. When the opponent's below, I guess it depends on where these platforms are. I guess I always did it closer to that wall. But it looks like good. Good. Okay, so it looks like it knows how to follow the opponent. Off platform, this is the true test. Let's go. We didn't ruin it. We didn't ruin it, guys. Even though it chases the opponent on platform, it's not doing it off platform. It will do it. There's some probability of it doing it here, so like going and hit the opponent, but then it comes back to platform. This is good. This is not good. This is not good over here. Okay. Let me think about this. I want to see if I put your positioning, if it maintains what I previously had. No, this looks like a disaster. This is not what I want. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna scrap this session. Yeah, I'm gonna scrap this session, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna train against well-rounded. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna do in here, but the main thing is that I'm also gonna be recovering onto platform while I'm kind of like fighting against the opponent, so it should learn both, and hopefully it maintains the policy of everything together while increasing the probability of attacking the opponent. While there, I'm also going to practice timing my shield properly and grabbing the opponent while they use shield. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, hopefully it should be beneficial. Now, one thing I like doing when I am just playing against the opponent is I like doing a time limit instead of a data limit. You can actually accumulate a bit more data. Just a little hack, I guess. But it's very important you guys know, the more data you collect, the longer it takes to train. I don't want to hear complaints that it takes longer to train. That's just the way it is. There's literally no way on this earth of getting around that without quantum computers. Okay? So if you collect more data, it's just going to take your computer longer. All right. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to... So I'm going to hop... Okay, good. Just going to do shield. When an opponent's doing shield, I'm always going to grab it. So I want it to learn that. Okay. Damn it. I forgot how good it is. Ah, damn. Okay, hopefully it learned that. Again, when he did shield, I made sure to grab him. And there's a few things we're practicing here. Oh, damn. Grab. We want to make sure to do shield when he's close. And grab his shield when, grab him when he does shield. Actually, I'm going to restart this. There wasn't enough time to actually collect enough data. I didn't really like that session. Grab. Damn, I need to stop doing that. It kills it too fast. Am I even collecting data? I'll turn it on. Maybe I shouldn't keep doing that. And here I did it again. Okay, so, I mean, it's a good kill shot, but for my purposes, it's not collecting enough data. What I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to do it with data limit instead of the time limit. So that we have infinite lives. Oh, I was facing the dummy. I wanted to face well-rounded. Okay. So now we're collecting. Okay, I think this is good. We're collecting a lot of data here. You know what? That wasn't bad. I think we wrapped up. I think we collected enough solid data. I guess we'll see over here. I want to dial the lambdas all the way up. And then I did a bunch of... Actually, you know what I'll do? Let me just try doing moderate intensity on simple. I heard people say that no one uses simple anymore. Let's give it a go. Okay, I hope my guy is learning to follow the opponent better. If this doesn't work, I do have one final thing I want to try. Okay, it's following the opponent real good. The uppercut needs some work. Is it this platform? Might be. The intersection of the platforms is kind of throwing it off. No worries. This is not good. Over here. It's not bad actually. On this side. Slight increase of the probability of moving right, which I don't like. But here it looks good. Probability of shield when I'm in shield. It's not great, but it's not horrible now. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna save it just because I like that it's chasing the opponent better. I'm gonna do one final training before hopping into simulation. Is I want to solidify the return to platform and to attack the opponent. So I'm gonna use the dummy, and I'm gonna combine those two things in one session. Okay, so I'm going to go off platform. And I'm going to train this on both sides. Okay, and now I'm also going to train attacking the opponent from all sides as well. Okay, and I think I'll just do one more for good measure. And then on the sides as well. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. I'll stop, hop into training config, and then we're going to want to do raycast the platform. Our action for combo is positioning, and then the typical stuff for attacking the opponent. And this is kind of just to fine tune a little bit. Oh, it's gonna really ruin my shield meta, but it's okay. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Good. Gonna slightly lower direction lambda. Lower batch size a little bit. Good, good. I see it coming in on here. That's not optimal actually. No, that is not good. I feel like it's one of those other things where it's getting stuck in a local optima. You know what? I'm going to reduce learning rate, reduce batch size, increase epochs. Let's see what happens over here. It's weird that it's increasing the probability of up and right. I know it's getting stuck in a local optima right now. You know what? If all the other states are fine, I might just allow it. Oh yeah, we need to fix the shield afterwards, but it's okay. I want to hop into simulation first. Shield's much more likely on this side. Okay, we'll do a quick save. Okay, and we'll hop into simulation. We can start off with the Gwei, kind of see how we're feeling, because we changed our policy a lot. And then we'll see if we can move up to someone better. Okay. Okay, first thing I see is it has a problem with direction. Because it should have been chasing Gwei, but it seems like when it's facing the wrong direction, it has a harder time. Yeah, like right here, it's faced... There you go, that wasn't bad, but it's wasted a lot of moves. Good. Recovered. Okay. Okay, good. It scared me there, but it recovered. Oh, good. That was a good edge guard, actually. Okay. My guy's like scared to chase off platform now. Oh, that was a nice recovery. Okay, so it seems like recovery-wise is good. We still do want to chase a little off platform, so we'll probably work on that, but maybe next week, because I do want to get back to the shielding after this. Oh, that was so close. Okay. Oh, damn it. It did chase on that side. Okay, so it's more likely to chase on the right side, which we saw in the AI inspector anyway. Need to create a better return to platform policy for that though. Yeah, and on the left side, I think it's really solid. It does have a problem with wasted moves, I see. I think next time I'm gonna want to explore more of keeping sparsity. Because I want to see it play almost like a human. Where it doesn't just do wasted moves. Oh, beautiful. That was the buff I was talking about, guys. You saw it went a lot more horizontal, and it killed at a slightly earlier percentage. I mean, I think it would have killed at even earlier than that, but yeah, that's a buff in action. Okay, so even if we kill ourselves right now, we're still gonna win this. Okay, so it's not bad. A lot of areas of improvement. The few I detected were wasted movements facing the wrong direction. I noticed on the right side, return to platform's a bit iffy, although it did get that really nice kill shot. And shield has been completely destroyed from our strategy. So first thing I'm going to do is train shield a lot more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to face well-rounded. My main concern is doing shield. Okay, I want to put it in a bunch of different situations to do shield. So I'm going to mix it up between like my regular play, but I'm going to focus a lot on doing shield when I'm close to the opponent. Okay, I'm going to do a time limit. So I'm just going to turn it on, and I'm just going to battle as I normally would. But when I'm close to the opponent, doing shield. Okay, I'm just making sure to do it a lot. I wanted to learn when like I'm in a somewhat vulnerable position, do shield. Okay, that ended really quick, but let's just see. Okay, most important thing I want to show here. I think I did 1 or 2 recoveries. So I want to put those on. Your action. This is very important for maintaining the shield. Opponent's action as well, because I wanted to know when to do the shield. And then these ones as well, because I was attacking at various times. Yeah, this should be good. All right, let's go. We're getting the shield back. We have to make sure that this doesn't disrupt our return to platform policy. Okay, and we also care a lot about the conditional probability. All right, we're talking. Now we're talking over here. Okay, let's see. Return to platform. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. This is not good. This is not good, my friends. I needed to get knocked back a bit more, eh? Let me try removing these. See if that's what's causing the trouble off platform. Because it could be the case that it's focusing on the raycasts. And, yeah, based on the raycasts, I didn't kind of like recover back to platform, if you know what I mean. Like, it's maybe detecting these raycasts. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing over here. Oh, this was a weakness even from before. I didn't catch this. When I'm facing that direction, it chases. No wonder. Let's see on the other side. You know what? This is not bad, actually. Oh, this is really good. This was like unintentional, but it was kind of really good. That it like chases the opponent. It has higher probability of chasing the opponent until it gets like really to the edge over here. Then there's most of the probability is in returning back. It's not perfect. Again, a lot of this stuff needs a lot of fine tuning. But this is good. This is, you know what? I'm kind of happy with this. And we're returning back to our shield ways. So I'll do a quick save. I know we're running up on time, but let me simulate it. Let's simulate it against the artist. Let's go big or go home, you know? And depending on how I do, we'll face the guppy, but I might not even be able to beat the artist at this point. Okay, let's go. Trying to push the meta here with a light fighter. Okay, good. Good. That was good edge guarding. Okay. Oh, let's go. Let's fucking... Sorry, guys. Let's go. Okay. No. Wait, this is good. This is good. Oh, I could have capitalized on that. The stun. Let's go. Come on, bro. You got this. Oh, nice. Oh. Well, one thing that we might include, someone mentioned it in one of the feedback, is increasing the knockback if you hit them out of stun. I think that's a really good idea. So we're probably going to implement that later today. Ah, damn. Come on. There you go. Okay. It's bringing up shield more. Oh, that was so close. Got interrupted. Come on. Nice. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, good. Shield is coming in. Oh, man, that was so close. Come on, we just need like a... Come on. Beautiful, beautiful. One stock up. Let's go. Nice. All right, guys. No, actually, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. We still got some work to do. We have 24 seconds. Oh, look at those combos. Come on. Can we KO him? Or are we going to get timed out? Oh, that was good on his part. But I think we got this. Oh man, that was so close. Jeez. Okay, we survived. We survived. Don't think I'm quite ready to take on the Guppy at this point, but it's getting better, guys. It's getting better. We really improved the recovery a lot. If you remember last week, it suicided all the time, to the point where we couldn't even beat the Gui. Even though it had sick combos, it would just suicide. So that's certainly a lot better now. We see that we're able to recover and not chase as much on the left side. On the right side, it still needs work. I do still want to chase to a certain point, but recover when it kind of like gets like halfway between off platform and to the edge. So maybe we can work on that next week as well. And then you saw at one point we completely destroyed the shield and we brought it back. That's something that I do often, where I realize that it's impossible in certain circumstances to keep everything exactly how you want it and only change one tiny thing. Sometimes you actually have to regress before you push forward. And in fact, you see that even in a single training session when you're trying to escape these local optimas, is that it has to explore these suboptimal policies before it's actually able to get to the final destination, right? It's just a path. Your neural network, imagine just you're like on like an adventure with it, right? And you have to go through these like muddy troughs before you get to like the paradise. That's kind of like the case with machine learning, is that along the way your network has to kind of travel through this like error surface or this lost landscape, the thing I showed you, before, and it has to travel through these really weird parts where it looks like the policy is not doing what you want before it finally gets to the place where it actually looks good. So I'll end it off over here. I do want to open it up for questions in case anyone has any though.
Yes, sir. The Mendo brought out that like to the point that you just raised, like while you are in a local optima, say, because you don't know how many training it takes your AI to get out from it, right? What's a consideration in between the option of like retraining your AI or continue grinding it? Because even maybe the next training session, right, you may be still stuck in it. So that like yeah.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
So I can certainly explain my approach. It's certainly not the best approach. I don't know what the best approach is at this point, but my approach, what I do is, if I'm kind of comfortable with something, I'll finalize it. Like I'm actually going to do that now because I'm liking where we're at with things. So I finalize it such that I can always come back and restore it at a later time. You see it. This is the one that just got finalized right now. So that I can start exploring. So for example, if I'm trying very hard to fine-tune something, like let's say I just want to increase the jump and that's it in certain circumstances, but every time I try it messes other things up, I actually take a really radical approach where I'm just like, you know what, forget it. Like I'm just going to increase jump in all circumstances, I don't care, and then I'll fine-tune them afterwards, because it could be the case that when you do that, your AI is actually in a better position to start learning, right? it's not as trapped when you do that. But oftentimes, people, what they'll do, and I'm guilty of this myself, is they're very happy with their AI and they're scared to change anything. And they're like, I don't want to make this big change, it's going to ruin it, and then I'm going to ruin it even more, and it's just going to get awful. And so they're like, they make like these very incremental things where it's like 1% increase of the probabilities, and that's it. And then they slowly do that, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But my approach is kind of like, okay, let me save it so that I can restore it at a future date, and let me just mess it up, right? Because the alternative is you can just reset your AI, right? Like you can just reset at any point. Obviously, I don't want to reset. I'm going to restore it to what it was, but you can reset it and train from there. And my view is like, okay, reset is one extreme, and just completely increasing the probability of one thing is like an in between. You know what I mean? So if you completely reset, it's random. But if you just increase the probability of one thing by a lot, it does kind of change your AI a lot, but it maintains still a lot of what it previously learned, right? Like if I increase the probability a lot of jump, it still has embedded in it a lot of the other stuff I showed it, right? And so it's like a middle ground. And so I'm much more comfortable with that and putting that into a more optimal part of the lost landscape than resetting it. You know what I mean? Um, and I often find that things move a lot faster. Now, um, this is not like proven by any means. This is just empirically from my experience. Is that learning happens a lot faster when you're able to just kind of like quote unquote mess up a model, um, and then train from there versus incrementally. Like sometimes you have to train like 50 times to really move it if you increase it 1% at a time. You know what I mean? I hope that
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep. It sounds good to me. And yeah, a lot of support from Reggie's and D Chunks saying that the current one and the last episode like very helpful for them. They gain some new insights.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad to hear. I mean, yeah, I'm glad to. I'm keen to see what Reggie's can come up with. All I see is some sick combos from them. So, if this was helpful, I can imagine even better combos are to come.
Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, that's all the questions. And he
Awesome.
even answered a question like the other members answer quantum peaking question regarding to what local optima is like
Hmm.
in our game context, right? Because one of the situation while you are trying to recover on the far end off stage, you're saying you're trying to get out of this local optimal. He's like, what exactly that is. So.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's basically like, um, over here, like you see this little dot over here. Um, Locally, it just means like within its own confines, like within this trough over here, it's the optimal, i.e., it's the minimum over here. But if you look globally across the entire lost landscape, this big blue curve, it's not the minimum, right? The global minimum, which is across everything, is right here. The local one is just here, so it's within this little trough over here. That's what it means. And so what you want to do is get here because this is what you actually showed your AI. But oftentimes, because of um, it's just a bunch of math, right? Like just because of how the lost landscape is, the current setup of like all the weights in your current neural network, and the data that you have, this is sometimes what it looks like, and it gets trapped over here. So that's kind of what it is, and it's why sometimes learning can seem like very frustrating and hard. It's because of these times where it gets trapped here, and you're like, what the hell? This thing's not learning. It's not learning what I showed it. And sometimes you have to get a little creative in terms of the hyperparameters you use to escape from this, jump out of here, so that you can get into here. I hope that helps.
Awesome, awesome.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool. Think we're good to go then, eh?